We are ready and set to go. Forgot to turn my music off again. Looks like I got it in time. All right. And in the lower right-hand corner, wearing the red things as soon as we get in the game. All right, wearing the red things. The red, what would you call that? Red carapace.
There you go.
Would be Winter.
And in the top left corner, the blue Terran, Triforks. So these two players have been showing the best of any of the players that we've seen thus far. Obviously, they've made it this deep into the winner's bracket, and one of them is going to be going to the grand final. As we said, one of them is guaranteed some cash money. So obviously, there's a lot on the line for these games, and these players are playing to win here.
Yeah, you know, it's really going to be another more of the same. I really would. Oh, looks like we got to pause, so we're going to flip back here for a second. You know, we've seen a lot of the same play out of the Terrans so far in today's matches. It's been largely Mech versus Zerg, which we've talked about a few times, saying that you know, that seems highly unusual given some of the matches we've seen online and in some of the bigger tournaments. It seemed like it's been a little bit more different.
Looks like we're going back.
All right, here we go. So, you know, we've seen a lot of that. You know, a lot of double factory, a lot of Hellions early, a lot of mines. I'm waiting to see you know, a more Ling Baneling Muta from Winter. You know, Winter has definitely done a variety of builds today. He's been reading his opponents well. You know, being, I would definitely say, a pain in the rear on the scouting front. He's been getting in his opponent's base and causing a lot of trouble. And the opponents likewise. And but as we were interviewing him once, he said that you know, that really dictates how his build goes a lot. And you know, obviously that's not unusual, but as we see that fairly early scout coming out from Winter already crossing the map. Triforks sending out a scout as well. Slightly later, they are going to do a big high five in the middle of the map.
Looks like Winter has made a heart in the base of Triforks here. In his rallies.
Good for that.
So if you were watching a little bit earlier, we did do an interview with Triforks, and I was asking him a little bit about his choice in how he tends to open these, and he was saying that he liked to do sometimes he'd go Hellion first, but he'd then switch into Bio, like to try and force those roaches out, and then go Siege tanks, that he didn't usually like to get the mine against Zerg. So we'll see if we see the Marine tank play that we've seen a lot from him today. It wouldn't surprise me at all, but he also has to be aware that Winter's been watching these games. He's been here the whole time. He's been paying attention and taking note of who his opponents are going to be. So you have to believe that Winter's going to predict some of the builds that you've done if it's going to be similar from what you've done in the past. So you've got to predict that and then compensate for it.
And Winter has even commentated one of the games with us.
Yep.
But it looks like it's going to be a quick expand here for Winter. He is getting his overlords in position, and he's been doing this all day to detect those drops coming out the back of the main base. But it's going to be a pretty quick speed, it looks like, as he's got gas going down. Pool is about to finish.
Reaper is out for Triforks, but he's going to take care of the drone that is in his base first. He did. Triforks did actually start a refinery on that Vespene Geyser while the drone was in his base, so it would prevent him from taking that gas and canceling and taking it and canceling and all that jazz that we've seen from Winter earlier today. He did end up canceling that started refinery to get some of those minerals back.
Apparently, this is going to be a bit of a tiebreaker for these two players, as they've met on ladder regularly, frequently, and they are 2-2 on ladder, as we've heard from a couple people in chat, and Winter himself said that. So pretty even match incoming, I would say. A couple of Lings in here are going to be dealt with as Reaper is going to come in and try and do a bit of damage to these Lings, but nice timing on that Queen as it does pop out, and Lings try and get on the backside of it.
Oh, that Reaper's got to get out of there. And sure enough, he was able to get off creep. He's going to hop down, and that should be fine, but the SCV does not have the same jumping capacity. That could be difficult for him.
Yeah, two Lings going to be coming into the base of Triforks to scout that out and see what he is going in. He's going to see an expansion just about complete, but not a whole lot else. If he comes up to the top of the ramp, he will see a factory with a tech lab going down.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's a little bit different. We've seen usually a reactor first.
Well, my hunch is that they're going to switch as soon as they're done building their respective add-ons. At the barracks and the factory will switch, but it's I guess we'll see.
That seems a little silly to me, but it's entirely possible. We will see, but the Reaper in takes care of those Zerglings scouting around the natural base there, and looks like it's going to be straight to tanks and Marines. So this is definitely a divergence from the standard play we've seen today, and honestly, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just straight up, he's not really playing any mind games, and he's getting out units quickly, which he's going to need to do as these Zerglings are starting to come out for winter, and that metabolic boost is finishing up. So there is going to be some aggression here, and those Lings are taking out these Reapers that are on the map.
Yeah, if he does position a tank well, that tank pops out if he looks like he's got it rallied over to this side. But if he puts it over here, sieges it up, should be able to cover most of the expansion. But here come in the Lings. He's going to have to get that siege up as speed is finishing. Lings coming on up the ramp. And it's going to get shut down. And you were right, Gallegation. He is now switching that reactor and the tech lab as the Lings are in, killing the SCVs. He's going to have to lift up that command center.
Reaper going down, trying to bait those Lings back into the tank fire. It looks like Winter's not taking that bait. All he wants to do is make sure that orbital command is not able to land.
Yeah, he landed that down, and I'm not sure maybe if he wanted to get a mule off or something, but he didn't actually do anything. But looks like going to be a 2 engineering base coming down behind it, maybe expecting mutas seeing all the Zerglings. But it's going to be actually a 3rd base coming down for Winter. So Winter's going to just try and do a bit of a contain here as he gets a lot of Lings. And, there is a tank. It looks like these 2 Hellions have kind of got themselves in a bit of a corner here.
Hellions are coming down to support, and now the tank fire is hitting, but he's got to lift that up or he's going to lose it. And the Lings are moving in there trying to get whatever kills they can, and the tank fire is doing splash damage to both sets of units here.
Luckily, a 3rd shot from that tank did not go off. It would have done quite a bit of damage to those Hellions, but they are trying to get away. Now a lot more Hellions coming out. This has been a pretty productive build for Triforks so far, I would say.
He's been able to hold off this aggression, but what thing he hasn't been able to do is keep mining from his natural while Winter is getting onto 3 bases.
Yeah, his command center is on fire right now, so he will need to repair that at some point if he wants to keep it. And yeah, Winter has gotten on 3 bases, but it's fairly standard, I think, for Zerg to be a base ahead. But it really depends on, I think, how Triforks decides to move forward with this. I mean, he's a bit supply blocked at the moment, which is not good, but Winter is going to see the 1-1 upgrade going down as his Overlord flies over.
Yeah, and that's going to get picked off.
It looks like Triforks going to be moving out onto the map a little bit, sensing that those Lings are pulled back, which they were. Winter has the same kind of plan, 1-1 going down as well with a Baneling nest at the front.
He also has his lair going down, so he's going to be able to get to lair tech advancement as well, get that Baneling speed, get those tier 2 upgrades on his units. In the meantime, Triforks is moving around the map with his Hellions and the single Reaper, looking for strategies and openings for himself to do some damage. Is engaging with that Queen now, and the Queen is going to retreat back into the 3rd base where there's another Queen and the Spine Crawler, which is going to force these Hellions back.
Starport finishing up as well for Triforks. It looks like he's going to be going for getting some medevacs out and on that reactor, so right away we're going to see a couple medevacs, maybe? Not yet. Well, he's supply blocked, so that's why. So Triforks actually has been supply blocked a couple times this game.
I was just going to comment the same thing, and that's at this stage of the game, or this stage of the tournament, you really want to avoid as much as possible, as supply blocking can really put you behind very quickly.
Really good timing here on the creep as the Overlord just starts dropping creep as the command center of Triforks wants to come out and land, but he's going to be pushing out through the middle of the map, scanning to take out some of these creep tumors.
And this is one of the first players that we've seen really try and contain the creep. A lot of the Terran players that we've seen today have just kind of let that creep go and not really worry too much about it.
Well, Triforks did stim a single Marine down to try and shoo away that Overlord, but that was taken out by some Lings running in, and the Banelings are crouching up on those Hellions.
Yeah, he's got to be real careful. One of them does get a decent splash off on one of the Hellions, and it does end up falling by that last Baneling popping.
So, I mean, looking pretty even so far. I mean, it's +2 attack going down, centrifugal hooks, and Spire is about to finish. So we are going to see that kind of Ling Muta Baneling that we have not seen so much today. And from Triforks, we see mines coming out. So I really like this composition. Tank, mine, and Marine, essentially.
Well, frankly, you don't want to do a whole lot of tanks at this point. The mines are going to be a little bit more lucrative in that they can shoot up as well as down. So you do have to be a little bit more careful with them, put them in more strategic places. But geez, Pete's Winter's being really aggressive with this creep spread, really preventing this 3rd base from going down in creative ways.
Looks like Winter was actually moving this Overlord to dump creep directly on the head of that SCV that was there. load up here coming from Triforks. Like he's going to move out, but there is going to be things that are going to see him. He's going to fly right over an Overlord with Lings and Creep. So this is definitely not going to be a secret that a drop is coming in. Also a 4th base going down, but those Lings are going to attach themselves to those.
Yeah, Mutalisks are en route to take care of this, and those Medivacs are boosting. They're going to want to drop somewhere safe, but it looks like they did get out of there. Winter does not give chase with the Mutalisks, and smartly so.
Macro Hatch going down in base as well for Winter. More Mutalisks on the way. It's like 6 in production now, +1 air attack, as well as +2/+2 ground melee attack and armor.
And that 4th base is coming down as well, and you know, only just now is Triforks able to start mining from this 3rd base that he took. So Winter is doing a good job of staying a base ahead of his opponent.
Yeah, but Triforks is expanding, so I mean, he's been able to defend him and keep him contained a bit, but he is getting out there. But you know, the fact that Winter does have his 4th base up is...
Oh, and these Medivacs are getting attacked by these Mutalisks. One does go down, and he's trying to unload the other one. Mines are burrowing. 2nd Medivac does fall, so that drop gets shut down very quickly by Winter.
That mine is actually hiding there kind of behind that gas geyser.
Yeah, it sure is. A Marine trying to bait back, but great use of the Overlord there to bait those mine shots.
Do get to take out more Mutalisks on the way, consistently producing Mutalisks. 3 more on the way. +1 air attack he's about to finish, as well as 24 Zerglings. So it looks like Winter's going to be wanting to make a push here relatively soon.
And it looks like he's going to be harassing over here on the right-hand side. And oh, Triforks had those Hellions there, but he's deciding to move them just as these Banelings are about to move in.
Oh, and there's a whole lot of mines there unburrowed too. He has really no defense on this 3rd base.
He's going to have to be real careful here. It looks like Winter is gearing up to attack on 3 fronts at once, potentially. Mutalisks are going into the main base, and there's really not a lot except for the turret to really defend against this. And all these add-ons are, oh, look at those Marines pop out, though.
Yeah, that tank is going to go down there, but now he's pulling all the Marines back. This is just what Winter wanted.
Yeah, he's got to strategize here as to where he wants to attack. It looks like he's gearing up to move in with those Banelings on the right side, and there is literally nothing there to defend against it. Banelings going into the mineral line. And,
oh, that is an amazing connection with those Banelings.
Messy. That hurts a lot. Medivacs are going immediately back in, but the Marines aren't quite out of the picture just yet. So Triforks is aware of that type of shenanigans, and Marines and Hellions and Reapers and Medivacs, oh my, are cleaning up at the 3rd base.
We'll just say that was all the workers killed.
Yeah, that was quite a few.
As a total of 25, it looks like. 27 now after the final engagement, so that's going to be a problem for Triforks.
Yeah, he's really got to keep, I mean, you've got to keep muling, you've got to keep getting those SCVs out, and frankly, you've got to keep defending this 3rd base. You don't want to get 2 bases behind your opponent here.
Oh, waiting for these. I'm curious as to why those mines didn't trip. Those Zerglings ran right through, and
Mutalisks back into the 3rd base. They're just going to target down the orbital command, but the SCVs are on it trying to repair, but he's going to lose more SCVs in the process of doing that. Marines show up in
Triforks there. I mean, he had the control to both repair the command center and bring his Marines over. At the same time, cleaning up the Overlord at the left-hand base so that he can eventually expand there. So now if you look at the food count, both players approaching 200. So we're going to have 200 versus 200 here. But the upgrade favor is in really no one's court. The only difference in upgrades is the fact that that Winter has air upgrades.
That is absolutely right.
So it's really going to come down to bank and expansions right now. I mean, Winter is starting to build up that bank of minerals for sure. Gas is piling up as well. So what he ends up going down, he has Hive coming down, so likely be Ultralisk coming out after this, as that's generally the follow-up. But all the Marines stimming, Lings running in, but the Banelings don't get a chance to run in. Nice split there on the Marines, even though there wasn't really anything to split for. Oh, a couple Baneling connections there.
And Winter is trying to do one of these things that he was commenting about earlier, which is the burrowed Baneling mines.
Yep.
So he is setting himself up for that potentiality.
He is making quite a few Banelings, and then both players are at 200 now. So the banks are going to start to climb. Winters has a head start. So now it's time to start using that money to expand. But I mean, this is a lot of Marines that Triforks has. So if he can control this well, and
they're going to run right over these burrowed Banelings. Let's see if these connect. And he's got them selected, it looks like, but they don't go anywhere. Oh no! Now he decides to bring them up, but those weren't the greatest connections. They were some connections, which is better than nothing.
But now he's aware that that's a possibility. He's scanning all over the place.
And those Marines are moving forward.
Oh, here comes the huge band of connections. All those Marines have all we can do is wince in pain.
Yeah. And that was more banelings flowing in. All these Marines are dying, and suddenly these Mutalisks are very scary, as there aren't really a lot of Marines left on the map to be able to handle this type of aggression.
Yeah, and +3/+3 is getting close to being done for Triforks. The Ultralisk Cavern has just gone down for Winter. So this is being the common transition out of Ling Baneling Muta is, you know, I mean, if he gets to that point, Triforks is really in trouble. I mean, you got to have something a little beefier to stand up to the Ultralisk than just Marines and Mines.
Apparently Swarm Hosts are coming out as well. We see one in production. I'm not sure if that was maybe a misclick, but usually you don't just make one Swarm Host, but you never know.
Hey, you never know. It could just be mind games.
Could be.
Lots more Banelings in production, more Mutalisks in production.
Oh no, and they're going to snipe these medevacs that are near full. Oh, yep, gets both of them. Unfortunately, nothing gets out of there alive, and that really hurts Triforks. This third base is almost certainly going to, well, no, the Marines are coming forward now.
Yeah, it actually kind of made an awkward choke there for his Marines coming down that ramp, as they have to filter by 2x2 almost just to get through to defend that base. The barracks there, obviously, to prevent run-bys. Oh, there is some burrowed Banelings in the ground here, but oh, he has them selected, and there's a nice connection.
And he's going to run over the next ones, too.
No, but he's just going to run in and clean that up with actual Banelings. But if he actually killed his own Banelings by having those Banelings go there. But Triforks making a nice little push here. A lot of Marines against just Mutalisks here left so far.
And that single Swarm Host is seen and subsequently taken out.
Yeah, but now we got 44 Zerglings and a Mutalisk on the way. Lots of Banelings coming in. Triforks a little slow to respond. Does lose a few Marines. Nice connections there in these. Oh, there's a nice mine connection there with those Mutalisks as well. But again, with those mines, if you can't chase them down, they do heal so fast.
They absolutely do. There's a couple more Banelings sitting over here in the corner that are burrowed, and Winter just doing a lot of burrowed Baneling play here, saying you want to do mines, I can do mines too.
He actually has it right next to his own mines. Oh, and it could be a great connection if he lifted it up, but
no, he didn't. Oh, but those are huge connection against those Mutalisks.
Oh, those Mutalisks are so almost dead.
And looks like the Marines are on the hunt, but they're not going to quite get there.
They keep running right over that burrowed Baneling too. Here it comes again. Is he going to select? It does.
It does.
Oh, but the Marines do have quite an armor upgrade, so it is not enough to take them out. But just like those Mutalisks, so many of them are almost dead.
In the meantime, Winter does have a Zergling counterattack in the third base of Triforks, and there is nothing there to defend it, so all of these SCVs are forced to run. Mines are moving in, trying to get down, but he doesn't have selected, so they are just kind of running into nowhere. The Marines are getting killed as well.
Our Mutalisks chasing down the medevacs there, but some Zerglings filtering through into the natural expansion of Triforks, but he is able to clean that up with the Marines that are there. He's not oh, there's just Mutas right over the mine! Oh, he did clean it up just before it went off with the with the Overseer there.
And this is really not looking good for Triforks at the moment. You know, he's at half the supply of his Zerg counterpart, and that's really not where you want to be.
There's a burrowed Zergling, it looks like, under that command center, so that's going to not allow that to land. Okay, now we can take a breath, and it's a 200 supply to Winter of about 100 of that. But yeah, if you look at the resources lost, it's actually fairly even, believe it or not.
That's really interesting. I mean, I feel like that just means that Triforks hasn't been trading quite as well.
Yeah, as Dark Autumn says in chat, 3-3 Marines, good unit.
They are quite good. But you need a lot of them to go against these kinds of numbers, and you know those Mutalisks rather, they've been sticking around. They've got some staying power.
Yeah, the issue is now for Triforks also is the Ultralisks are starting to be produced. I mean, Winter, he doesn't have a huge bank of gas is the problem. That's why there's not going to be a lot of Ultralisks. He's deciding to make these Banelings instead of them. But so far the Banelings have been working out pretty well. I mean, he does still have several of them, several Baneling landmines across the map, and looks like a couple Banelings connected with some SCVs there, but oh, nice pathing there by Triforks. Did not walk over the Banelings, but he's got a lot of mines here.
And in the meantime, the Mutalisks are going to the right side of the map while the army of Triforks goes to the left, and the Mutalisks are targeting down this orbital command. Is it going to go down? It looks like it is, and it does. So he does lose that base, but in the meantime, Triforks, it looks like he's getting cleaned up over there. The Marines are getting destroyed by these Banelings. The Ultralisks moves in, and this is really bad news. The Mutalisks come in and clean up those medevacs. Nothing getting out alive, and the supply dwindles again for Triforks.
Yeah, again, the units lost, or the resources lost is almost identical for both players, but Winter trading obviously better because he has almost 200 army still.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, with this many bases and having all the larvae, he does have a lot of minerals, so he can make a lot of Zerglings. But his gas is strapped, so he's having a hard time. He's got to really make sure that he's saving those high gas units and not losing them like the Mutalisks, like the Ultralisks. You got to protect those guys.
And it's the exact opposite problem for Triforks right now. He has a bank of almost 2,000 gas, but has no way to use it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been going heavy Marine, so it doesn't take a lot of gas to just make Marines. You just got to make the mines and the medevacs. But in come the Mutalisks.
Those mines do burrow really fast with the tunneling claws. I believe it's
drilling claws.
Drilling claws, yeah, something like that.
Drilling claws.
Scan goes down to see where the Mutalisks are. See, they are over there, and Winter taking a
2 bases.
2, 3, 4, 5, 5th and 6th base on the opposite sides of the map. He is starting to feel comfortable with where he's at. Does have Baneling landmines all over the map still. Actually, ironically, right next to actual landmines. But looks like we're going to have another big engagement here as the Mutalisks coming in. But there are a lot of Marines and a lot of mines. If he can come in here and get under these Mutalisks.
Oh, but he did lose an Overseer. He does have a few to spare, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But these Mutalisks are out for blood. They're going straight for the tech structures, killing off one of the reactors on the barracks, and he's just trying to limit his opponent's supply or his capability of production at this point.
Oh, the Marines do come in, get a few shots off, couple Mutalisks go down, but there's getting to be a very large number of Ultralisks.
Yeah, and those are going to rip through these Marines if they can get in the right positioning, tank through these mine shots as well. There are just so many mines on the map right now, though.
For both players.
Yeah, we've got 14 Widow Mines, and there's 24 total Banelings on the map, but many of them are buried in various positions.
And Triforks going to be coming up here to
no, those 2 mines, and they're selected. Jeez, and the big connection there is going to be able to take out this base by Winter, but Winter has a backup one in the far right, and Winter just rallying, getting ready to surround this army potentially.
Yeah, it almost just seems like Triforks forgetting the fact that there were Baneling landmines all over the place, but now the Marines stemming up, trying to get to the Ultralisks. Ultralisks walking through landmines is actually a quite efficient way. Oh, but look at the Mutants, they're going to come under the...
Oh, the Overlords are coming in to tank all those shots.
Oh, so many of the Mutants do go down, though, and the ones that are remaining are very low health. He can just kind of micro back these Ultralisks because there's not much left in front of him.
And suddenly these tides are turning a little bit. Triforks coming back a tiny bit here. 6 more Ultralisks in production, 64 Zerglings. Triforks has very low health infantry here. 2
mines do burrow, take out a lot of Overseers and the remaining Mutas, but if these units can get in here, I mean, really one swipe from these Ultralisks would kill almost all of his bio, but he just can't get to it because he can keep microing it back.
He's got to be so careful here, though, because his medevacs are dangerously low, and if he continues to stem, he's just going to kill his own units.
Yeah,
and sure enough, he's just going to load up into those medevacs, boost on out. He's going to have to recuperate some of that energy or make more medevacs in order to keep fighting like that.
The income is really starting to be a problem. He has no mining bases right now in the neighborhood of Triforks, and the base that does have minerals left is being attacked by these Ultralisks and Banelings.
All the
SCVs go down.
All of them. 75 worker kills. 75.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Here comes a handful of bio left, and all of it's so low.
It's so low, and I mean, this is basically all he's got left at this point.
Right now, he's just basically trying to use it to just bait these units over the mines.
And I mean, I don't know what else he can do. He's got to use free shots in order to deal with this, and Winter has to be feeling very confident now. The Marines moving forward again. Oh, he stims, does load up, but every time he stims, man, they just get a little bit closer to death. It's got to be, it's got to be so careful with that.
Pathogen glands is going down, so it looks like maybe going to attempt some. No, pathogen glands. That's
Infestor.
Yeah, Infestor energy. So, I mean, really, if Winter just attacked here, he could just kill this. It seems like Triforks does have so much gas. And I'm sure he's wishing that he had a market economy where he could trade some of that in for minerals right now.
Absolutely. He's not mining at all.
Honestly, it reminds me of the trading post in Warcraft 3 where you could trade in certain resources for other resources.
Now pulling SCVs, and there they all go. There's the GG. And a 30-minute game.
Woo!
I mean, I've got to say that despite Triforks ending up losing that, he did hold on for a long time. He was at half the supply of his opponent for a decent amount of that time. So he really held in there by the skin of his teeth, really.
Yep. And we do have a best of 7 coming on here, so we're going to get right on into the next game. So Gallegation has set up that lobby. We're going to run a quick break here. But while we do get that set up,